location. We're here at A&G Ohio 2013. I'm here with Matthew Mercer. How you doing today?
Good, good. How you guys doing?
Doing very well.
Fantastic. Waking up has been a process today, but I think I'm about there.
Okay, very good.
So it'll work out fine.
So how did you get started in the world of entertainment?
Growing up in Los Angeles, you're kind of permeated by it. It hits you from all sides. I never thought about going into acting. I originally was going to be an illustrator. I wanted to be an artist, and I was going through school and heading towards college from an artistic standpoint, but diverted last minute, got into community theater, and then the rest of it just kind of fell into place over the past 10 years. So,
A big project that was announced recently was Fate Zero. What are your thoughts on working on this series?
I'm excited. I'm a big anime fan since back in the day. Like I was really heavily into old school Dragon Ball Z back before right before it got out with English. You know, I used to watch it with Japanese with Korean subtitles. My friend would translate for me at the end of the episode. Like, that's old school. But like, big fan of anime for a long time. And this project in particular is the first I've seen in a while that really just wowed me with like the musical score, the animation quality, the intricacy of the story, the kind of like moral gray ground that each character treads, and it's just a really cool anime. And so being able to voice such an awesome character as Kiritsugu in that, I'm really stoked.
I was a big fan of Fate Stay Night, so I'm looking forward to this one.
Yay!
Another project you were in is Fire Emblem Awakening as Chrome. How was it like working on that iconic JRPG strategy game?
That was awesome. I'm another big thing. I keep saying like I'm a fan of this stuff, but I'm a hardcore RPG gamer. Like my whole life, I grew up with the early days NES to Super Nintendo, which was still my favorite RPG system, period. But Fire Emblem is such an iconic series. Being able to be a part of that, let alone a cool character like Chrom, was really awesome. And like Patrick Seitz, who directed it, is a fantastic director and a good friend. And me and him worked really well to get this really awesome character dynamic for Chrom. And it was really exciting to be part of a Nintendo project of that scale. So I was really happy.
You're the co-creator for There Will Be Brawl. What was it like working on this series?
That was intense. That was my first directorial, I guess, debut for anything really, but for a web project of that scale, it just got bigger and bigger the more we produced it. And it was just a conglomeration of friends and talented people that we all wanted to do this as a passion project. It began out of pocket, and then we got funding from The Escapist to produce the rest of the series, but even the funding we got was just enough to basically fund the cost of the project. So we worked for like a year to get the entire series out, and it comes together to be about 3.5 hours long total length, and it got a little beyond our hands towards the end there, but we pulled it together, and I'm really proud of it. And still people are discovering it to this day and coming up to me and telling me how much they love the series. So it was very much worth the blood, sweat, and tears.
Okay, very cool. Already out is Proxy, a Slender Man story. What can fans expect from this?
Those of you who are fans of the Slender Man mythos, if you will, the Something Awful beginning of that, this is a really cool 10-minute horror short that Black Box TV put out, directed by Mike Diva. Who, if you guys aren't familiar with his work, he's a really awesome YouTube director, visual effects person, and this was his first foray into horror. And so me and Marisha Ray, who plays the other lead character in this, had an awesome time shooting this really creepy horror film based on the Slender Man mythos. So me being a person who was there when it first began on the internet, and then being able to come full circle and be part of a project on that scale was really cool and genuinely creepy on set a number of times. Shooting in the woods with like kind of scary lighting till like 5 a.m. you can't help but get a little creeped out. Yeah.
All right. For fans of Funimation, you make an appearance in the new Full Metal Alchemist movie. How was it getting a chance to work with folks over at Funimation?
They're awesome. Funimation's just great. Like Mike McFarlane, who directed it, I've been to a number of events with him and conventions, and he's just one of the funniest, most ridiculously hilarious and random people I've ever met in my life. And he's great, but he's a great director, and that project's such an iconic series that I've been a fan of. So to be able to be a part of it in any regard was great, but then to be a character like that for the film, which I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it yet. But it was a really cool part, a really meaty, fun kind of archetype I don't get to do very often. So it was a really fun experience, and Funimation was a blast. I mean, I wouldn't mind going back.
All right, hint. In your time as a voice actor, what has been your favorite to do, anime or video games?
Oh, they're both fun. Anime is very technical, and I really enjoyed the technical challenge of being able to bring that performance through, but in such a very concise and very specific pace and medium. But I've always been a hardcore gamer at heart since I was a child, and being able to be parts of some of these large franchises that I grew up with, not to mention overall, it tends to be a little more work sometimes, depending on the project. So I'm going to say I probably enjoy video games a little more just from my own personal stand, but I enjoy them both thoroughly.
Are there any upcoming projects you want fans to know about this time that you could talk about?
That I can talk about, yes. Well, so they've announced Fate Zero. I think they just announced a number of characters in Nura, which is an anime that just came out recently. Also, I have a web series that we just finished the initial 3-episode arc called School of Thrones. That's a kind of a Game of Thrones parody set in the kind of 80s John Hughes high school genre. And we have more episodes of that coming out once the new season of Game of Thrones is finished. So look out for that. And also, I can't be too specific, but they're starting to announce things for the Tales of Xillia, the next Tales game. And there's a pretty cool character in there you should look out for, maybe, whenever they get around to announcing that.
Okay. Is there any way fans can keep up with you on the internet? And a final message for your fans?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, at Matthew Mercer. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm generally pretty open and easy going to contact with fans and chat back and forth when I have time. And especially the fans, guys, just keep being awesome. Hopefully you're enjoying the work you're seeing. I hope to have more coming out for you. And yeah, I will say, if a friend invites you to a game of Dungeons & Dragons, don't be afraid to give it a chance. That's one of my favorite things in my heart. I still play every now and then with a lot of friends, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great improvising kind of storytelling experience, group storytelling experience that has a stigma to it. And honestly, you learn a lot of great improvisational skills through it too. So I don't know, give it a shot.
All right. Matthew, thanks so much for taking time to talk with us on Unreal Location.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.